To my beloved Marjorie, I hope that, by the time you receive this letter, the weather has been kind and that you are well, wherever you are. I heard you were about to head home, and before I get lost in the fog of war, I wanted to write you one. Last note, in case this is my final contact. If I no longer have the chance to write, I promise I will send postcards whenever I can. I know the heat of Egypt and life aboard have been difficult, but more than that, it's the feeling of distance between us that torments me with every passing day. I'm writing with the hope that this letter will reach you before you depart for the United Kingdom. As I mentioned in our last conversation, I'm quite apprehensive about what lies ahead. We're at sea on our way to Gallipoli, and the thought of facing the unknown without knowing when I'll be able to see your face again is consuming me. I can't wait to hear about your journey here. I hope it was smooth. I know you've always managed to handle the heat in London, but I find comfort in knowing that, somehow, the changes in season may not be as harsh for you as they are here. I've heard many officers say that the winds of war, even in the trenches, make us strong and resilient. And I still believe that your strength is what keeps me steady. It's been a while since we parted, and though I've tried to keep my spirits up, the emotions aboard have become harder to control. The ship is filled with officers and men with stories that are in some ways similar, but at the same time, very different from my own. Each of them has a different way of reacting to this harsh reality, but our pain seems quieter, deeper, because we know that what truly hurts isn't the battlefield we face ahead, but the fact that many of us will probably not return. I try not to think that way, but the fear is inevitable. I wish you were here with me right now. What must you be doing at this moment? Are you taking care of our home? How is the garden? I think, in a way, my letters have been the only way to stay connected to you and to what our life was like before all this. In one way or another, the war takes away the small daily joys we used to have, like the last time you made that tea. I love so much. That feels so far away now, Marjorie. Do you remember the last time we went to the park together? I keep thinking about those simple moments, those peaceful times. They are what keep me sane. During the trip, we've had some curious situations that, for a moment, lightened the weight of the silence and tension. As you know, life aboard is monotonous. We've been cut off from news from the outside world, and so the officers began creating their own rumors and stories. The radio, which usually kept everyone informed, has become just a source of entertainment when no one knew what else to do. They put up some funny messages in the hall, and it was amusing to see the officers' faces as they read them. Some even took a while to realize the joke. One of the messages said, "If you're not going to war, then war is coming to you." Their reactions were a mix of bewilderment and nervous laughter. Some of my comrades had to cut their hair and attempt to maintain some order, but without exception, everyone looked younger without their long locks. Eric D., one of the young officers, was the first to cut his hair, and when they brought him back to the deck, he looked completely unrecognizable. Even the officers tried to maintain composure, but they couldn't help but laugh at the moment. Galloway, our barber, has spent the entire day cutting hair, but he still managed to find time to place his picture in a prominent spot in my cabin. I hope the glass doesn't break while we're in the middle of all this. I have to tell you that, although the journey has been full of difficulties and unexpected challenges, I feel grateful to have you in my thoughts. Your image has been my foundation, and there's not a moment that goes by when I don't think of us, of the memories we shared. I wonder what you're doing right now. I can't help but imagine your smile when you read this letter. Even at a distance, you manage to calm my spirit. As for the officers, they've been handling the situation in different ways. Some are more resigned, others have been trying to distract themselves, but they all have one thing in common: the fear of not coming back. They're so close to me now, but it's strange, because there's an invisible wall between us. I'm not sure if it's the fear of war or what's to come, but everyone is trying to keep their emotions hidden, perhaps hoping that, somehow, this will help them survive. Marjorie, my dear, as I'm here, aboard this ship, with the horizon stretching as far as the eye can see, the weight of the distance between us becomes harder and harder to bear. The days drag on, and though the sea is calm, my mind can't find peace. The war, with all its pain and brutality, separates us not only physically but emotionally as well, because every thought of mine is with you, not with the men who share this grim fate with me. When I try to distract myself with conversations aboard or some light banter with my comrades, it's impossible to avoid the thought that, at some point, all of this will be nothing but a distant memory, and what truly matters is the reunion I so desperately long for. Sometimes, the solitude consumes me, and it's in these moments that I think of you the most. I imagine our home, and how it must be waiting for my return, quietly, anticipating the day when I can finally step into the garden I love so much, the one you've always tended with such care. I remember the afternoons we sat on the garden bench, talking about anything, laughing at simple things like the wind playing with the leaves or the sound of a leaf falling. Those moments, simple and serene, are now my most treasured memories, and I realize how those small moments of happiness were the true riches of our life. When I look to the future, it's the promise of those moments that keeps me strong. I know, deep down, all we want is to live those peaceful days again. There's no doubt that war changes us, and even though I fight every day to maintain my humanity, I know that something has been lost in me along this journey. But when I think of you, it's as if the world quiets for a moment. I remember your soft voice, your comforting words, and how you always knew exactly what to say to ease the pain. You taught me to be strong, to fight for what's worth it. And now, more than ever, I understand the meaning of what you said. You always believed that love and hope could overcome even the greatest challenges, and that's exactly what keeps me going. Even when everything around me seems to be falling apart, the thought of coming back to you gives me the strength to endure. It's strange to think that time seems to pass so differently here. It feels as though it drags on, endless, as if tomorrow will never come, but in my heart, I know time is on our side. Every passing day is one day closer to the moment I can return to your arms. I cling to that hope, like a child clings to the comfort of a blanket on a cold night. The fear of what's to come is real, but I've learned, with you, not to let it control me. When I think of everything we're going through, I realize that, in the end, what matters most is our reunion. The war will pass, but the love we share will be what keeps us together, stronger than ever. I know I can't promise that I'll return on a specific day, but one thing is certain: I will come back to you, Marjorie. The war may take everything we have, but it can never take away what we feel for each other. Our love is greater than any battle, stronger than any adversity. Even at a distance, you are with me every step I take. And when finally the war ends, what I want most is to look into your eyes again, feel your embrace, and finally rest knowing that our struggle, our waiting, will have been worth it. Until that moment comes, my love, No matter how dark the night or how distant the horizon seems, I will always have you in my heart. I hold on to that certainty because I know that, somehow, the future is written for us. When we reunite, everything that's past will become a lesson, and the scars, both physical and emotional, will turn into reminders that we survived it all. Our home will be waiting. Our life will be restored, and once again, we will have the opportunity to be happy, to do the simple things again, without the weight of war. Until that day comes, I will do everything I can to stay strong and focused on what truly matters, you. I trust that everything will be all right. I believe that you and I will reunite, and when that happens, our world will once again be as it was before. I will come back to you, Marjorie, and when that happens, I will hold you as I never have before. Take care of our home until then. Take care of yourself, and never forget that you have always been the reason I fight every day. With you in my heart, no matter how far I am, I will always be home. Soon, I will be far away again. The war continues, but I know that at some point it will end. Until then, I will write as much as I can and keep your words close to me. With all my love,